Welcome to The Creative Consultant, Season 3, Episode 2. I am Trudi, your Chief Communication Consultant.
And I'm Matt, your Chief Content Consultant.
Woo! And we are here today to learn about something very, very special. You.
Oh, that makes me feel all funny. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I can't wait. We are going to start as per normal, as per custom, with a quote.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited.
You should be. You ready? This is by Heather Shook, or maybe Shuck. Don't know.
Okay.
Ready? You will never feel truly satisfied by work until you are satisfied by life.
Wow.
It's deep.
At first, surface level, you're like, oh, yeah. And then you go, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's wow.
But I'm going to tell you why I pulled that up for you.
Please.
Because I feel like you are satisfied, like the work that you do satisfies you in your life. Is that a bold assumption?
Yeah, I think so. In that it's definitely something like I've wrestled with for a while because I've run my own business for so long that I kind of don't know where I end and the business starts.
Yes.
Like they're so intrinsically linked to each other. And I think that like, you know, through tougher times, the pandemic, all of that sort of stuff, and then life changes, becoming a dad, like it forces you to reconsider everything that's going on, the importance of whatever it is. And I love my work and it's so creatively fulfilling, but it also means that I come home with creative energy to my family and my life outside of work. And so the two feed really nicely together. But yeah, it's the work is really satisfying in my life. It's not just like, God, I've got to go to work now. It's like, you get to go to work and I get to come home, and the two live in synchronicity.
In sync.
Yeah, in sync.
When I think about work-life balance, like when I think about true creatives who have really trodden their own path to live the life they want to lead, I think of you. You're at the top of my list.
Oh, that's very flattering.
I've always been envious of how you have navigated this beautiful, like you've stayed true to yourself and combined work and life. Very cool.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk about you today.
Okay, sure, no worries.
Because I want to ask you, some questions because we've known each other a long time, but I want to find out how this journey was morphed and changed.
Yeah. What do you want to know?
I want to start by the name, Balloon Tree.
Oh, great. So Balloon Tree came to me when I was about 15, 16 years old. So I grew up in Ballarat and there was my school was about, I don't know, a kilometre away from a McDonald's. Not sponsored, but we'd walk down there after school and they had the children's playroom where they'd have birthday parties and stuff.
Yes.
And inside that, they had a balloon tree, which was like a sort of 30 centimetre in diameter pole, a whole bunch of holes you could put balloons with sticks into. And in a moment of symbolism as a kid, I looked at it and I was like, every balloon is like a film, and films and balloons bring joy and wonder and lightness to people, and a tree grows and flourishes over time. So Balloon Tree Productions just is where it came from. So the tree continues to grow, have more branches, have more elements to it, and we keep making little balloons that bring joy and light and wonder to people.
I love that. At 16 you came up with that.
Yeah.
So this was obviously something you knew you wanted to do from a very early age.
I don't think so.
No?
No. Like I was a little theatre kid at school. My school didn't have media or anything, so we didn't do film or anything then. But I always liked creative outputs, and I really sort of stumbled into running my own business because I had a job working in video for a real estate video company, and then just got a couple of little freelance gigs on the side and kind of made the decision like, oh yeah, I can make more money doing less work if I work for myself. And that was when it started, and it just kind of continued and snowballed from there. But it was never an intentional like, I'm going to start a business and grow a team and what have you. It was very organic through just the relationships and the work that I made.
So when did you know, I mean, because you were quite young when you did that, right?
Yeah, 21.
21,
Yeah.
which is very young to start your own business.
Yeah.
When was that you were like, actually, yes, this is it. This is what I'm.
It's probably hiring my first team member. It was when you go like, there no clients and work was no longer going to just me. Like I needed other help and support. And at that stage you go, I'm not a freelancer anymore. Like I'm a business, and we have people and there needs to be rules of engagement and all of this sort of stuff. That's probably the first time I went like, this is a critical point in my life here where I either choose to pursue this and we go fully into running a business and team, or it's like, no, we just stay smaller or, scale it back. So it was probably like, I don't know, 6-7 years into it, like around 2016, 17 or so.
Okay.
And yeah, it was just like, there was enough work that we had needed more help. And I really enjoyed the side of working with other people and collaborating. That was a really fulfilling part of it. So the growth of a business at that stage, I was at a point where I was like, I'm good at the being on the tools, shooting, editing, whatever, but I also am really good with people and I like helping other people develop their skills, work with other clients and kind of grow that way too. So, yeah.
So did you find a lot of people say that they love the tools,
Mm-hmm.
they love working on the tools, but then once they get a team involved, they don't feel like they have any more creative input.
Yeah.
But you've managed to navigate that really cleverly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something that I'm really, really proud of is that like I am not the practitioner that's like desperately hanging on to practicing the doing. And I still every now and then get behind a camera, get on an edit suite and kind of like just blow the cobwebs out and sort of do it. But the growing a team side and the collaboration, and I also see it the way I deal with clients as well, is that like the people side of it it's so fulfilling because you get to serve other people and see them grow and develop too. So from a team perspective, I've always hired either people that I've been friendly with and worked closely with to kind of formalize it in a more permanent way, or people that are kind of earlier on in their career that have the right attitude or the right approach or the right sort of mindset to fit into our team, but I can see some really great growth opportunities for them as individuals. And I love, it's probably the parent in me that's like, I love seeing that growth and development and the upskill and the pride they get in which, when there's a bigger opportunity or project comes along and they get to, flex their muscles and do something really cool with that. But the same happens with clients and things as well. Like it's not so much we're transactional. It's like, I've worked with some organizations for 10 plus years and I've seen the people we started dealing with at day one have gone from like junior team members to now like leading their own departments in these organizations. And I'm not saying we're solely responsible for that, but we've shared that journey and we've created work with them along the way. And these relationships are mutually beneficial. We're supporting them, seeing their work grow. They come back to us and see our team, our capabilities grow. And like, what a hugely rewarding thing to be involved in and be able to lead that. And I still get to be creative because we get to share these conversations and the ideas of what we're doing. It's just I'm not the person pushing the button that says record or moving stuff on a timeline, but I get to help orchestrate that and see the results of that on a broader scale.
So do you think that is a mindset shift? I mean, what advice would you give to somebody who is creative, who wants to then level up and get themselves a team and their business is growing?
Yeah.
You've obviously made a lot of conscious steps along the way to make that happen.
Yeah.
What advice would you give?
I do. I coach like really early stage video production companies.
Ah.
Yeah. So I have this conversation a lot actually.
Do you? Well, there you go. Get in touch if you're early stage.
There you go. Yeah. Join the VBA. But so the thing that I'm constantly talking about, right, is that when you're on that precipice of needing support, whether it's an editor or a production manager or a producer or something, you need to commit to them rather than commit to needing help. Because I think if you bring in somebody, like my journey is very similar in that like I did everything. I did shooting, editing, invoicing, client management, relationship development, sales, like all of that stuff was me. When you start bringing other people in, the tendency to want to control all of that is very, very high because it's your business, it's your thing, it's how it all works. But if you're going to bring somebody else in, they need the space and opportunity to make that role their own. Mm-hmm. And if you don't embrace that person, as an individual that has their own career aspirations, goals, opportunities, and ideas and input, then you're limiting that whole relationship. They're not going to give you as much as they could and be as beneficial as they could be. And you're also then not getting as much out of them because you're holding them back. So when you start looking at bringing in team members, you have to consider them as people and go, what do you want out of this role? And how can that work mutually, for us? So every time I've brought in either an editor or a producer, it's always been like, cool, well, here's what I need in a person in this role, but what do you want in your career? And do you want to go and start directing eventually, or do you want to be more creatively involved in the ideation side of it rather than just here's the footage, cut the thing, or just book the crew for this? It's like, what do you want to get out of it, and how can we foster that? And then everybody gets to raise up as the business grows and the opportunities are there, and you're not gatekeeping that opportunity because of the sort of, what's the mentality? I was going to say the lacking mentality, but it's that like
scarcity
mindset. Thank you. Chase, that's why we hired her. The scarcity mindset isn't holding you back because you're just trying to protect everything. You've got an abundance mindset, and then you bring people in, you've got more capability and capacity because you can go, here, person we've hired, here's your opportunity. Let's see what you can make of that. And then seeing them thrive or have some challenges that you can then support and then see them, thrive in the future because of that learning. I love that. It's the best part of my job.
So in that sense, and we'll come back to your own creativity, you're one of the most creative people I know, and you started in this creative field, which we'll come back to, but I would love to know, when you bring somebody else on, how does that work with the creativity input, right? Because all of a sudden you've got two creative minds. You've got here your love of like genre and parody, and this person over here might have a love of like, I don't know, horror films or whatever. Yeah. How does that work in the creativity mix?
Sometimes it doesn't, and that's kind of the joy of it. We often joke here that like, if I could only just clone myself, everything would be so much easier. But I actually love the conflict, and I mean conflict in not the like, well, I want to do this, I want to do that, and we never agree. But it's the challenging of ideas and perspectives that I think creates a really interesting output. So if we use a video project as an example, and I'm like, I want to do it this way, and somebody else with a different lived experience life, says, hey, what about this? And it's completely different to anything I've thought about. The scarcity mindset in me says, no, we'll do it my way. But the abundance mindset that I'm really leaning into is going, well, cool, let's explore that and see what that opens up here. And maybe because I've not had that perspective, something new and interesting falls out of it, and that's going to be better. And so, I've always really loved hiring people that are really strong and opinionated in their own perspective, but can collaborate. I think that's the key to it. If you've got just people butting heads all the time, it's no good for anybody. But if you've got people that have a point of view, willing to share it, but then also we can go, well, let's align on what the end goal of this project is, and then kind of filter all of these ideas through that lens and go, no, actually this one serves the idea the best. And we all go, yeah, great. You've been able to pull from a pool of 4 or 5 different brains that have these things, and the sum of that creative ideation or development is stronger because it's been challenged and poked at from all these different people. And so, I've hired for talent and mindset a lot of the time, but I've been really fortunate that it's been a really diverse group of people across the 14 or so years we've been around. It's like male, female, non-binary, like all sorts of backgrounds and experiences that I don't have, but we get to put that into our process to create something that is really, creatively engaging and interesting. That is
a really special gift. Like, that's a really unique skill that many people don't have the capacity to lean into, right? Everybody's so conflict avoidant. So many people want to hire like for like. They don't want that tension. They don't want that conflict.
Yeah.
Where do you think that came from in you? Where did all of this creative, collaborative approach to everything start?
Whoa, that's a good question.
Thank you.
I don't know if I've thought about it too deeply, but my instinct says it comes from childhood and like being a bit of an outsider anyway. And like I was younger than my whole school cohort. I finished high school when I was 16, so I was at least a year younger than most of the other students. Tough. And so I didn't just like fit in. It was always like, I became a bit of a smart ass just to kind of like, if I can't fit in, I'll make a bit of a smart joke. And if the people get it, they go, oh, you're kind of clever. And if they don't, I've kind of one-upped them in my own little secret way. But the way I'd kind of relate to people was through drama and the theatre groups and all that sort of stuff. And I think they by necessity have to be collaborative environments. And you see the benefit of, the second saxophonist in the pit is just as important as the lead actor in the musical or whatever, that they all pull in the same direction to get the show up. And I think that was a really formative experience, but subconsciously, I don't think I ever really considered it that way. And so when growing a business and bringing people in, delegating is important because you can't do everything yourself. And if you try to, you go mad. You can't live the life outside of the work you're doing. So if you can't create an environment where you can lean on the people around you to help you and make, whatever it is you're doing happen, what's the point of having them, really? And so I think that, the collaborative nature and sort of embracing all of these different ideas is just a combination of that experience as a kid, but also going, well, it's better. I like to think I have good ideas and strong creative ideas, but I'm also not the expert, and I have my own limited way of viewing the world, that if I'm closed off to all of the other potentials out there, well, then my idea is only ever going to be capped at that, single point.
It's amazing. This is a real love-in. I think it's, okay, so on that note, I mean, I would imagine that ripples out too to your clients, right?
I'd say so, yeah.
I can imagine that working with you would be that lovely, beautiful collaborative process. I find it that lovely, beautiful collaborative process where you do feel safe enough. Ooh, everyone talks a lot about psychological safety. Yeah. Even in play, psychological safety is so important. And you instantly bring it with that openness of, I can feel I can bring anything to the table and it's fine.
Yeah.
If you look back across because how long's Balloon Tree been around now?
14 years.
14 years. Yeah. You just had a birthday, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're in your teenage years.
I'm a grumpy teenager now.
Grumpy teenager.
So if I sit here and just go, whatever, and pull my phone out, I'm like, why?
Do you have...
Going on TikTok, Trudi, I'm bored.
Do you have... What are your proudest moments?
Oh, man. I mean, we started this conversation and you were like, why did you decide to run a business? And I didn't. But I think one of my proudest moments is that I've claimed the idea of running a business and done it differently to the experiences I've been involved in over the past. So when I started, I was still doing some freelancing here and there. And I had a couple of other jobs that were really formative in the way I wanted to run a team and the culture of what I was creating. And I'm really I'm so proud of looking at how we've set ourselves up and the people we get to work with, not just in a team sense, but in the client sense as well. It's just, everybody goes, oh, it's the cliche of you'd have a beer with your clients, but I would genuinely hang out with everybody. I think that's such a privileged position to be in. But I also think the other thing I'm really proud of is that I get to play and have fun doing what I get to do every single day. And I'm not stuck behind a desk in accounting software, 9 to 5. I'm on set having conversations going, how do we make this more interesting? Or let's just try something. And what a cool thing to have as a job. And I think that I've done that for myself kind of blows my mind. I don't really, it's been 14 years. And I go, yeah, it's 14 years. But I don't know anything else. And I sometimes forget how, sounds arrogant, but how impressive that is to have survived for that long.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
But not only survived, but really thrived and kept that balance.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've helped me over the years, and there has been this lovely combination of intentionality and flexibility. You're intentional, but you are still have that yes and mindset. It's a very unique combination. Yeah.
Well, it all comes back to what's the purpose of what we're trying to do here? And if the purpose is help somebody, you've come to me for advice about, growing your business or whatever it is. And I never set out to do anything but help you. And so what can I share? What resources can I point you to? How can I use my skill set or team or resources to support you in that? And there's no subtext to that. It's just that's what it is. Same with the conversation about the ideas and collaboration and pulling, different opinions and stuff in. If we all throwing ideas out there and they're all for the one goal, then no idea is a bad idea. They're all just ideas trying to get us closer to where we all want to be. And so it's about, like you said, the intentionality behind what you're doing and not deviating from that, no matter how much ego or how much pride you sort of invest in like your contribution to it. If you're like, well, no, actually what I'm suggesting isn't going to serve the project as well as what this person over here is, you need to be able to put that aside and be like, cool, that's the idea we're going to pursue because it does what we want it to do far better than the other things. Yeah.
So if you are now to look forward, I mean, we've looked backwards, but if you're going to look forwards, what now? Oh, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Where does the path lead you?
What now? I think we're in a really interesting phase for our industry, right? Like video content has been, it's never been more necessary, and the way people engage with video has changed pretty dramatically from when we started. That I think if you were to say 2-3 years ago, we'd be creating mostly vertical content, I'd be like, you're crazy. There's no way. So looking forward is like, well, I don't really know what that looks like. What my instinct says is like we have to be open and experiment with these new technologies and new things as a way of staying relevant, but also as a way of supporting the people that trust us as, video Sherpas, essentially. Like if we know how generative AI video works and how to prompt things, and that becomes what video content is in the future, and we don't know about it, well, our clients aren't going to know about it because they come to us and they go, you guys know about video. So, it could shape up very differently in 5-6 years. But I think that our creativity and curiosity and desire to help and serve and deliver bits of communication that really help our clients, that'll never waver. It'll just be the methodology at which we get there may be very different.
Well, you've got that experience behind you. 14 years, there's been dramatic changes in technology in that time.
Yeah.
So you've already got runs on the board so that whatever comes at you, you're ready.
Well, like when I started, it was in the DSLR revolution, right? Which for those in the know was when cameras came out that you could, swap lenses on, and they were significantly cheaper than the kind of old school, like better quality than like a DV camera, and it wasn't as expensive as like the sort of bigger broadcast cameras. So people of my era, Ben on our team, like we all got in because equipment was affordable and we can make really high quality stuff. And at the time we were the disruptors. We came in as like these young 21-year-old kids going, I can shoot a thing now. Hey, let's do it. And all these old heads that did it their way are like, well, no, this isn't the way it happens. And now we're like on 14 years down the track and we've got like kids coming out of film school that have an iPhone that can shoot just as good as quality as something else. And like they say they're DOPs and videographers, and like rather than be like, oh, grumpy old man, shouts at clouds. It's like, well, this is the world we live in, right? Like they're digital natives and they're used to seeing stuff and shooting stuff on their phone. And if clients want that, then we have to figure out, well, where do we fit into that piece? Rather than going, oh, woe is me, it's not the way it used to be. It's like, well, stuff's moving forward. How do we keep up with that? How do we contribute in a meaningful way? And so what we do bring is that experience and storytelling craftsmanship that we've honed over 14 years, on top of here's also how we apply that with new technologies and new ways of the ways audiences engage with this stuff. So yeah, just kind of being finger on the pulse a little bit, but also leaning back on we know how to engage people through the content itself. It's just the medium at which it's being shared might change.
I feel like that's once again, that's that beautiful combo. You're going to be intentional but open.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a magic combination.
It's pretty cool.
Oh my gosh.
It's pretty
You're
cool.
like a wizard.
I'm a wizard.
I've got one more question for you.
Please.
Let's say I came with my pin and I popped all the balloons in the McDonald's thing and there were no more balloons on the tree. What would you do if you had another career?
Oh, well, I always wanted to be a marine biologist.
Oh, wow.
But I don't think that's what I would choose today. I think I think it would be like a teacher or something.
Would it?
Because I think like, I have kids, 2 boys, I have a team and I have clients and I'm a coach as well. And so I have a lot of different conversations with people where I'm looked to with some level of authority as a dad, as the business leader, as the coach, as the kind of project manager for a client. And the things I really enjoy about that is being able to inspire and see progress without my input, but I can also guide and shape and help, support and encourage from the sidelines. And I think like teachers are incredibly valuable in society, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think the joy I would get from seeing, kids come into the schooling system and leave as prepared as they can be for the world would be such a beautiful experience to be able to impart on other people. And I think I get to do that through my work now. It's just we also then get to make a cool video at the end of it as well. So yeah, probably a teacher.
I like that answer. See, there you go. That's considered and open. I would have said I want to be a mermaid. So there's the difference. You are quite you are a wizard. You have a beautiful, unique set of skills, and I've always looked, as I say, I've always looked to you as that person that I strive to be, who's managed to find a way of keeping your creativity, managing a business, and making it all work.
You're very kind. Thank you.
Oh, well, I think you're the kind one. You're amazing.
No, you are.
Well, how do we end this episode now?
I don't know.
Done?